Welcome to the Archangel Michael's Live. Oh, chat filters are on. Off, I should say. Oh, Mr. Pepsico. Oh, not Mr. Pepsico. Mr. Maxwell. Put some light on the subject. Oh, Maxwell. A kitty. Hmm? You're getting hot, cat. Yes, you're getting hot. I know. Off you go. Usually let you pat him for a while, but yeah, well, it's pretty warm. We're taking the mask off very soon. Not very enthusiastic now, but you get that. You get that in the big mix. I have no idea why things have happened. I haven't done anything wrong. And, well, trying to communicate pretty hard when the police have your phone. Hello, Kiki Eyes. How are you? I hope I find you well. I'm just about to take this mask off, girl, because it's very hot. I just had the cat, and it's too hot to hold him, too, so he's starting to fidget and claws going out. Yeah, I'm taking it off. Oh. But eventually, I'm going to have to get used to something like that. There's 37 there. Oh, yeah, that's the thing. It could be 37 at night here sometimes, guys. Especially out bloody my country, a bit further out in the desert country. I mean, it's been was 28 the other day here. I mean, it's hotter at night sometimes here than it is in some parts of the world during the day. But yeah, 37 is that's pretty hot. I hope you're keeping buddy safe, and if you're out in the sun, make sure you got a bit of cream, sun cream. It's always handy to have. And sun cream, believe it or not, there's a ingredient in sun cream that they use in the medical industry, and it promotes cell growth and cell regeneration 10 times as much as regular stuff. So sun cream is actually good sometimes for sores, for chafing as well. If you get chafing and that, you use the sun cream because it also adds gives you instant cool relief. And it doesn't. And you've got to try and get that non-greasy one. Otherwise, you get the greasy one. They got bloody little crystal orbs in it, and they rub and they just make it even worse. So. And stay away from we probably get jarred now, but stay away from that banana boat bloody crap. My kids, they got bloody rashes from them. A lot of kids do get rashes. Some kids don't. No, skin's sensitive nowadays in these kids. But yeah, you got to be careful of that sun. But plenty of sun is good for vitamin D. If everyone doesn't get enough of that. My son has used sunscreen all year because he's okay. Yeah, I got you. Yeah, it's like my boys. My girls, they're born Mediterranean dark-skinned Aphrodite bloody Greeks, and both brown hair, brown eyes. And then you got my two sons. They're born blonde hair, blue eyes, the fucking master Aryan race. I got it all happening. I mean, I do have all those cultures in me, so it's not surprising. Yeah. Blue master race. Yeah, well, breed soldier boys and Aphrodite girls. Yeah, that's it. Run the tans, and another one just burns yet. So that's it. The two girls, they'll tan up real nice, right? But they're both allergic to bloody mosquito bites and stuff. The boys are not allergic to like really anything like that, but they'll just go bloody beetroot bloody red, turn into lobsters. Poor kids. Especially my oldest one, because he's a gamer. And the youngest one, well, he's slowly starting to slip into that type of mode too, but not as bad. He's still young, But yeah, he's a gamer. He can pay for his own way. He got his little side job and that, so. Oh, Christ, and he's lily white. take him out in the sun, he'll burn in about 20 minutes. Especially where I go out there, the sun is very unforgiving. The bloody heat coming off the ground can burn you just as much as the sun in the sky. Yeah, different type of heat. I mean, it's way different, more radiant, more thick. And out there with all those, well, now that they've got all the bloody mines going on, all that mineral dust and all that in there, all the caustic dust in there, well, you get a little cut or an abrasion, you've got to deal with it very quickly, otherwise it'll just go bloody very septic very quickly out there nowadays. But that's just how the desert is. No, we knew that for thousands of years. That's the thing. All the bush medicines that we had, when they brought sugar into the dietary tract of my people, most of those bush medicines didn't work. All your bloody sores started ulcerating, teeth started falling out, and of course diabetes run rampant. That's almost endemic in some families now. But yeah, it's terrible. And heart disease, well, heart disease is still the biggest killer in Australia at the moment. That's Australia by capita. Heart disease. And like my old man used to quote, I know it's a bit silly to say this, but he says, Michael, at the end of the day, everyone stops from that. And I said, what do you mean? So your heart stops, you're dead. Okay, Dad, but he's right. Technically, when you stop breathing and your heart stops, you're dead. Technically. But they can keep the body alive on those machines, but the brain can be completely dead. And that sometimes is cruel. And it's up to the family to decide, make a decision, which is hard. But what do? You know? You got to let people go sometimes. You got to let them go. And that's just it. Some people you can love, but you can't force them to love you back. That's the whole idea of love, I believe. My husband was a diabetic, changed the way I cook. Yes, you can actually do that. You can actually do that, Kicky Eyes. You can change your diet, but like it depends what I think it's either one or the bloody what type of diabetes you got. I think there'd be in a few categories because you've got low sugar level and high sugar level, and usually it's the higher sugar level, right? It gets us, we've got too much high sugar level in that there. And if you change your diet, you can actually avoid having that, and you can go into remission. Not all the time, but you can. I know that because they teach you that. So I'm lucky I'm not to actually have diabetes. It's my blood group that keeps my blood funny. I got a strange blood group. It's in the AB group, bloody type D negative. And that means it's got all these funny shaped cells, and even got the sickle cell in it. And the sickle cell doesn't carry oxygen very well, but it's got all the different other shaped cells. They reckon usually you got one or the two shaped cells in your blood. Well, I've got all different shapes. All different shapes happening in mine. But you get that. Yeah, so that's that counteracts that. I mean, I get my blood tested on the sugar level, and if it's usually sitting in where it's supposed to be sitting in anywhere between 4 to bloody 6, it's usually good. That's good for my body. Never really goes any lower, and it never really goes any higher. Got a little bit of blood pressure problem, high blood pressure, but that's all the stress, getting old. Just getting old. And all that would be side effects from that COVID shot. Unfortunately, the COVID shot. Well, people still want to know if this is the guy. Well, obviously, some people have lost faith with him. Been away for a while, expecting not so much a warm welcome, but just a greeting or something. And well, got a greeting, all right, and it was quite a shock. I won't get into it now because I don't know the demographics of it. All I know is they no longer hold that wrench there no more. So nothing I can do about that. have to find out a bit more what went on there, why that accumulated. So, probably de-wrenched all the way around. Everyone found out you don't need Arch no more. You can survive on your own. Well, you can. That's a fact. Everyone can survive on their own. But, even angels, and even God himself, nobody wants to be alone. But you get that. Just, you get that. When you feel that they got a lot of people there, when they see that, they'll just smile. Ha ha ha. That stuffed him up. Not really. Didn't anger me. Didn't upset me. Just broke one's heart. But you get that. Ain't the heart of an angel is broken, no biggie. So we'll call on God now. Get God into the chat. And for that, well, you're going to need the real Archangel Michael. You have to brave the sweaty face with a mask. Because no one seems to care whether he has the mask on or he doesn't. So it doesn't matter anymore what I do, or what voice I take, or who you think that I am. I know who I am, and I am the man in black. I am Michael, the Archangel. Only one God will ever send. The only one God is going to send. So you better get used to it. God works in mysterious ways. He's waiting for that, just like you read the script. He doesn't like that. He wants it to be a surprise. Oh yes. God likes surprises too, Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but to deliver us from evil. Hail Mary, full of grace. Amen. And now we can get this silly mask off, I suppose. Even though I really kind of like it. Back to normality, I guess. But you get that in the big mix. You get that in the big mix. Well, bit of a dumbfound, bit of a stop. Don't know what to do now. No one needs me around, so what can I talk about? Nothing. The daily grind. The fact that, you get falsely arrested. They take your phone off you because they know you got a social medium and you get the message out. Take it off you for 11, 12 days. I've been fighting for that. They take other things off me that they should not have in their possession. I fought more for them than I fought for this phone by a long shot. I never used to exist with the phone before 2024, January, when I joined up with this, or February, whenever it was. Social media was not a concern to me. I lived my own life freely, doing what I wanted, without a care in the world of what anyone was saying online, because it didn't bother me, because I wasn't on it. Now, well, here I am, relying on it. I'll just let my nephew in here. No, he's got it. He's unlocked it. He's coming in. I won't be on long anyways. Got nothing long to talk about. Like I said, have all that stuff, haven't you? and come back and you find out, well, you're bloody no longer a mod. Don't know about Jag yet, probably be the same there as well. I have talked to Arnie Lee, so I don't know whether I'm still a mod there or not. But I have talked to her. Been talking to Nick, of course. Nick's always been there. She's not that far. I mean, really, we're only a few thousand miles apart, me and Nick. And it wouldn't take much for me to actually get a few pays, buddy, behind my belt and use that and go and see her one time. You know, just pop over. Oh, if I was going to do that, I wouldn't go to a house. I wouldn't bother her like that there. I'd work out some sort of festival that she's going to go to and try and catch up with her there. So it wouldn't be a bother or a burden. I don't need to know where her house is. I don't need to fucking be that much into people's lives. But it would be nice to meet one of yous. And at the moment, Nick's probably the best chance I've got of meeting someone. For anyone in a family, that'll be cool. Bit of footage with us two together there at a bloody rave or laying there drunk. That'll be funny. That would be funny. But you get that. Plus, I know Nick likes them Nimbin festivals, and they've got a bit of marijuana in them, so I've never been to one of them, and I'd love to go to one. It's like a kind of an Australian bucket list type thing, because it's an iconic bloody event. It's just a whole town gets involved. Of course, they have the police there, search and all that there, but you know, freedom. Yeah, you get that. Funny that. It's illegal everywhere else. They decriminalised it in South Australia. You're actually allowed to grow 2 plants per backyard in South Australia, but that's called personal. If you grow any more than that, that's classed as bloody selling. You can get done, right? Canberra, the capital city. Oh well, you're legally allowed to smoke it there, of course. All the politicians' laws, because they all live there. Of course, they're allowed to have smoking marijuana, but everyone else, nah, sorry, you get locked up. That's a felony charge. Well, that's a criminal charge. Over in America, they put it on the narcotics. Wow, makes it sound really bad, those words. It's like if you yell at your kid, right? They'll actually class it. You know how they used to say that's verbal abuse if you yell at your kid, right? You call it, that's what. Well, it's not. You'll find verbal abuse is very rarely used anymore. They come up with aggravated assault. Now, aggravated assault sounds pretty bad, doesn't it? You know what I mean? That's how they put it. That's how they word it. So in America, smoking marijuana really, you know, should be one of those tiny little misdemeanors. No, they put him on the narcotics. So she's a higher charge. See that? And it's not. And they know it's not, but that's how that is. And it's silly, that, really. But those words make it sound really bad. Oh, he was done for narcotics. Oh, well, we can't let him in. Well, I smoked 2 bloody joints of marijuana. No, I can't come in. Narcotics. No, and that's the same over here. Bloody stupid. Come up with, like, if you yell at the kid and tell them that they have to behave and you have to take their tablet off them or something like that there, right? And you know how, like, you might say, oh, I'm going to skin you alive if you keep doing that, but you never actually skinned a kid. It's an empty threat. We can't do those empty threats to kids no more, right? Because if they want to complain about it, well, we'll get some silly banter woman come along and bang, they'll do you for aggressive assault, aggravated assault. Oh, okay. Aggravated assault. Yeah, sounds bad. Crazy. But that's just the way the world is. By placement of words. Like they fooled all these mob down here with the word indigenous. They installed that into their brain. Now you got to fight between the black people whether they want to call themselves indigenous or aboriginal because of lack of education. Or a change of narrative just because they made it sound fucking good. The word still means what it actually means. Indigenous means wherever you're born. So anyone born in Australia, they're indigenous, including the Chinese couple and everything. Right? Simple as that. But if you're Aboriginal, that means you're the original inhabitants of that country. It comes from abo or original, and that's bloody it's bloody Latin. That's how you get the word Aboriginal. That's the original inhabitants. And see, by rule of sale, if you've been in a country for more than 300 years, it null and voids all previous claims of land titles and that country, and you can claim yourself endemic to that country. That's the rule of sale. So when they had the yes-no vote over here, they deliberately made that go sour. Right? Deliberately made that go sour over here, because they could have put a bit more into it, could have got voted yes, and the Aboriginal people would have been the only people in the Constitution, other than the government, that were protected. But to me, that was the golden ticket. We was Charlie in the chocolate factory. I saw a golden ticket. I had a golden twinkle in my eye. But, the indoctrination and the silliness and the uneducatedness and the real stupid dumbness of the whole situation, it was deliberately designed so they'd vote no. Just shows you they're pretty racist, this country down here, but you get that. Alright? You get that. We're the most racist country on the planet. We got 27 million of us. Crazy. But that's how it is. And that's it. Now, that's how I worked it out. It's 230 odd years, 240 odd years that they've been colonised here. Another 60 years ago. And that land claim that I show you there and all that there, that'll be all become null and void. Null and void. My people in that, they all don't know none of that. You try to tell them, they just go blank. Because the people telling them what they want to hear, well, they're the lawyers, politicians, they got the money. Okay? They want them to think that, so they can slip right in and slip it right out of them. Come 300 years, these Aboriginal mob carrying on out of it, they won't be able to carry on. They'll round them clean up, like they did before, and that'll be the end of that query. So it's no longer your land, it's now endemically our land by rule of sale. It's what they did in America. No, they couldn't conquer, when they discovered the Australian coast, it's the same time Colombia was pretty much rediscovering the American coast. Around the same time. They mapped them at the same time. Same bloke mapped them. Mapped both countries. Well before they went. That's why they went. Crazy. And they couldn't get into the tribal structure over here. She was too strong. Right? Because they had mostly a matriarchal structure. Now, if you've got a king leading the country, oh well, you're gonna end up, buddy. You're gonna kill for that king, right? But if you've got a queen leading the country, those men are going to die for that queen. So there's a big difference. So they had to go and find out, put all the effort into going to America, spent 300 years over there in America, learning how to destroy the tribal structure, because that's what they did in America, 300 years before you got any of your history going on now, in America, of destroying the tribal structure, right? And then when they were ready, they came over here because they found there was something different happening. We had a little bit of change over here. The men stepped in, took the inner circle for some reason, and then they knew they could invade. But as long as we had queendoms, queendoms, not kingdoms, queendoms, right? There is such a thing. You've just never been taught it. Queendoms. They couldn't get into this country, right? That's the fact. And when we actually changed it over our own selves for some reason, I know the reason, I can't really say, that's going to come out in a whole other day. But yes, there you go. They decided to come and invade this country. And they've been doing that for, going on 240, 250 years. Still fucking long invasions. It's the longest genocidal invasion yet. And it hasn't been registered. Still now. You segregate it, you round it up. They've got a law in the government on the Constitution that says we deal with Aboriginal under special needs. And yet there's clear nothing under that. They don't disclose what those special needs are. Special treatment. Like what you see in me getting here the other day. That's special treatment. That's what the special treatment is. Now, if you would have been any other race, they would have knocked on the door and asked you to come out. But because you're an Aboriginal race, that's your special treatment. You've got to be dealt with delicately. That's a fact. Now I'm going to replay it all. I've still got the footage. I'll put the footage back up and I'll show you again and again and again. The only reason why we didn't have any more footage of me rolling around with 8 coppers out there and the whole 16 of them out there in all the cars is simply because they would have took his phone as well. No, they don't like you filming. They'll have bashed him. I mean, I'm sort of know he was filming there. That's why he was telling me. He said, yes, well, that's what if you listen. What my nephew is saying, that's for your safety as well as mine, as a backup. And don't trust your little camera sitting there on your chest. They didn't even say who they were. Didn't say a word. Ripped my nephew out the way, and I thought they actually here for him. And I walked up over, and they just grabbed me and never even asked who I was. I still got marks on bloody. Bring this up because the light's bloody dying. Battery. Still got marks on my wrist. The lines. But it goes around on the wrist there. And that one still feels like it's got the bloody handcuffs on. And because the bloody they're just bloody two bloody cuff things with a bit of steel going through, it's no chain. Right? That still feels like the whole cuff's on and the chain bit's hanging off. So when I move it around, it feels like it's still bloody all connected. And that one's still got muddy marks over it where it's got all, you can see that one, plain as day. And that was a couple of weeks ago and I still got them all like marked like that. Like permanently bruised. Yeah, that was funny. I'd never seen cuffs like that before. Only on those bloody crazy bloody torture places. Like in Guantanamo Bay and shit. You know? Crazy. And when they locked me up like that, right, and then he twisted it. Wow. Wow, you know. Didn't even have me locked up like that or anything like that. No, they had them funny way. That's crazy. So they basically got you like that. So all they have to do is grab that middle part, and you only have to do a light little twist like that, and you got that person in pain. That's why they call torture cuffs, see? Because you lock someone up like that, you only have to grab that middle part, and you only have to use very little energy to twist it, because your bloody wrist's not designed to twist that way, see? So it doesn't take much to do that. And that incapacitate you, because then that person's worried about its payment risk. So yeah. And the old procedure where they grab you and they run you into the back of the van and make your head butt it. Like I said to them, regular procedure, is it? That's when they let me go and let me get in the van myself. Like they should have. Oh yeah. Well, I haven't heard much from them. So, you know, they've done a bit backpedaling. And people saying, you're not going to get your phone back into the case and they're not going to give those stones back because they're fucking too dangerous. Well, they kind of gave them all back. Didn't like it that they had hold of them, but they gave them back. And that's escalated up my mission. And then after all that, come back and, well, go to say, hit those lights, people, and see us all green, just regular moderation, not even a moderator, just regular bloody membership. It's funny that, because basically when I got back and got my phone back, once I got charged, I got some credit and everything. I actually upgraded my subscription to Jag to that I pay an actual $30 a month or $29 a month, whatever it is, because I wanted to upgrade it. And I still don't know whether I'm moderated there or not, so I've got no idea there. No idea at all. But if they feel that way, I can't. I'm not gonna be like any of these others that have always gone against them and bantered against them and carried on like a sook. Because I'm bound to a promise. I promise to protect them, and if they don't feel like they need me there to do that, well, that's fucking protecting them, isn't it? So that's simple as that. Nothing I can do about that. Like I said, I'm not going to really get into it because I don't know why that came about yet. I still got to find out. I mean, I've got his email. I could message him, see what's going on there. But you know, we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. Has to be a reason for everything. Has to be a reason for everything. Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. And have to end up being the little black duck, the little white beak. He went out to the desert one day. And yes, he was like the rest of the people. He knew all the business and knew all the black history. But he spoke like a white man because he didn't know the language. You know what represents this little black duck? Represents what a will-gone man can do to his brain. Also what that bloody Nunjan and those drones can do to their brain. We install a black duck in it. Little rubber black duck, see? Right? And what the significance of that is, once that's installed in the brain, that's into the memory part of the brain. And if they want to push me around, well, I mean, he might squeak a little bit, but he's a bit perishable, see? And if they push me too much for information, it pops. And what happens to the little ducks when they pop? They sink. So I'll just turn into I'll just have a stroke and turn into a slow learner right in front of them. And there's nothing they can do about that then. And I can't come back from that then. That's it, completely shut down. That's how I've got to hide the information. That's how it's got to go. That's how it rolls. Unfortunately, and that bloody creature out there, he can do that to all the drones that they've already caught. That's what I'm going to do. Unless they give them back, let me know exactly where they all are, because they've taken a lot out of the country. No, I'm going to get him the black duck 'em. No? Because they think to each other as well. It's a mental telepathy going on with that one as well. He can think to them, and they'll just turn into slow learner lizards. And they'll find them in the cage there, frothing out the mouth, won't move no more. That's what he can do. He's a special one. Like they're like his drones. Like you see everything we have in society now. Transgender, identity crisis, drones, uploads, downloads. He is mimicking everything like that on a biological scale. Okay? That's why so much money has been invested to be hush-hush and chase him. Now that letter that I got is the only one you're going to find outside of the Secrecy Act. Like I said, in 2021, they already offered me to do that, to go into the Secrecy Act and help them. But that means their secrets are theirs then. $4 million I gave up. $2 million for me and $2 million for my younger brother. I passed it up, so no. Not for all the money, beyond all prices. The price is, I want that lizard. That's mine, belongs to me. So I've been left alone to do what I need to do. Of course, once I get it, they think they're going to round me up then. Because then they know, well, they think I'll have no choice. I'll have to show them how I did it then. You know? One way or another, they're going to try and control it. One way or another. But, I want to bring it out to the world so you can see it. So the world can see something wondrous and they can't hide it no more. And then you all know those times are right on us. So at the moment they're hiding that. That's mankind manipulating that, trying to control him. Like I told you, they're talking about building that church in Jerusalem. They've already trained the sect in the old ways. They've already selected the leader from that bloody family line, the bloody whatever, 14 or 12, whatever lines of Israel there is. Had to be from one family line only. And they've trained him, he's already the leader. But I wouldn't be talking about the church. Right? I don't know what time scale or frame they got that on. But at the moment you see them surveying it and putting brick down to the ground, well, get ready. Get really, really ready. But we don't know, like I said, how do I know? That book's running pretty funny. How do I know, we're not all supposed to pass on, and then there's nuclear war, and they stay subjugated for 2 million years under a nuclear winter before any of this Jesus comes along? We don't know that. Nah, see, mankind, our stuff don't last that long. right? And those walls are supposed to crumble down. Jesus is supposed to walk through them in Jerusalem, see? So they're not going to last 2 million years, right? They're ready to crumble down now, making strange noises, crumbling around, creaks and that, and they look and they find all these cavities that weren't there before. But like I said, if you actually have a look at the place, do a bit of research on that gate, you'll find the Muslims put all their grave sites in front of it. The only way Jesus is going to get to you, he's got to resurrect them all. Because otherwise you can't walk across that bloody holy ground or whatever it is. Oh yeah. It's quite spun out, that one. Very spun out how they done that. So if they've done all that, they must have some sort of belief that that's going to happen. From thousands of years ago, from 1,000 years ago. You work that one out. And they've kept it like that since. So, faith can go a long way. And faith should go a long way. And God, well, he does exist. And one way or another, whichever which way you believe him, people are frightened of that fact. And also that shows you that man are frightened of, God's taking control. Which they already are in control. Man wants that control, see? This is in man's hands now. The scales are being tipped in the favours of hands of man. And it's up to enough men, enough women, to put God inside us, so God's got a chance and have enough bloody peace on the board so he can play his game. That's how that works. We're all at peace. We all got an opportunity to play it. Play ourselves in this game. And it's up to you whether you can, whether you can't. Some people just can't. Some people are stuck mentally and physically in what they do every day, and they find that a hard strain. Right? Which is true. I don't blame anyone for that, because that's just the way the world is. When we started really stuffing up the world, guys, especially here in Australia, I noticed we went to a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week society. We used to have a 5-day-a-week, work week, 40 to 48 hours a week. That was your regular job, regular thing, bang. And the weekend, everything was kind of shut down, except your major shopping chains, and they were only open to 4 o'clock in the afternoon. The only surveys you had would be open until about 12 o'clock midnight, and you might get a 1 o'clock delivery service for a pizza. That way everything's shut down. They even used to shut down the street lights. They don't do that no more. Of course, because of crime and stuff, population grows. But they don't do that no more. No? There's no milkman bloody driving around no more delivering milk. That doesn't happen no more. Or the cool drink man going around. And they took all the good things out of life. Simple, easy things. Now, you can't do those things. They don't exist. Society changes. For the better or the worse, I'm still yet to work out. Some of it is for the better. Technology is good if we use it correctly, in the right way, and the people that actually are the owners of the platforms aren't evilly minded and don't just fucking chase that almighty dollar. See, everyone's chasing that dollar. I don't see a single platform, a single government, a single organisation that is just there for the sake of for the goodness, and take the smallest bloody cut and give it all back. I don't see any of that around the world, especially the church. Churches are the worst. They take, and they take, and they take. And the only thing they give back is to tell you, if you don't keep giving them money, you're going to hell. That's the only thing they give back. Fear. They teach you how to drink blood of your Christ and eat his body. But if you really walked out in the street and started drinking blood and eating bodies, you're a vampire or a cannibal, and you get locked up. Like I said, that's a Saturn Sacramento installed by a Roman blood orgy. Always found that strange the moment when I was a little kid and found out you had to drink that wine and that was representing his blood and that little bloody bit of mint or little bread that they have there, buddy, represents his body and that sometimes. That's pretty strange. I found that very, very strange. Even as a kid, I queried that. And as I grew older, I never stopped querying it. And now I know I'm right. That's it. I've done my research. That's in Sacramento. That Last Supper has been lied about to humanity for so long now. That's what you believed it was. But it was actually the wedding to Jesus to Mary Magdalene. And that's why you'll find Mary Magdalene's text were kept out of the Bible, because it describes the actual full wedding. It describes a bit more, and her teachings and that, well. But at the time, of course, what does a woman know? That's the type of thinking. It's like Albert Einstein. He's accredited for EMC and relativity and all that, but the funny thing is, he was never in that field. That was his wife's field. His wife was a fucking university level. That was her field. So I believe it was her discovery. But what does a woman know? So she gave it to her husband to present that, and now you have E equals MC squared. And a man was the one that came up with that idea. But it was his wife's field. He wasn't even in that field. And he used to use the excuse, if you can write it down, right, you don't have to worry about remembering it, which is pretty good. That's an actual good technique to clear the mind, for thinking, if you can't remember it. But when I used to ask him questions about how he came up with the idea and all that, he'd look at them blankly. You have to think about what was going on in his head. See, and if he was so smart, so brainy, and so come up with this idea, wouldn't he know all about it straight away? No, because he's trying to remember his wife's notes. Oh yeah, you're going to find that. You'll find that out one day. I'm not lying. You've only been told his story, guys. We're still getting told his story, even though we've got this world as it is now. He's still telling the story. We haven't heard her story yet. Like the Amazonians and Hippolyte. 3 Amazonian queens. Used to be 3 Amazonian tribes. Hippolyte was the most powerful one. When Hercules went down there to fight them, well, he slayed a lot of their soldiers. And she seen them, and pretty much she fell in love with him. A whole bunch of debacle went on there. The Amazonians and Hercules. Oh yeah. And they used to keep the men at home to do the cooking and the cleaning and look after the kids. And to make sure that those men would stay at home and couldn't fight, they used to hobble them. It was an Amazonian fucking tradition. When they're young boys, any males born in the village, they'd put a bit of log between their legs and they'd snap the fucking ankles. So when they grow up, they're naturally going to hobble along. They won't be able to run. So do as they're told, see? That's a fact. Women was the only ones allowed to go to war, the only ones allowed to ride horses, right? Which is another thing, because the Amazonians, not many at the time, people were riding horses. Amazonians mastered horse riding. Right, so that's why they were so successful, because they had cavalry. Back at that time, cavalry was a big thing. It was a major advantage if you knew people how to ride horses. Now, from a distance, when you first see someone on a horse coming down the beach, and you've never seen someone on a horse before, it looks exactly like a centaur. Okay? And some say the centaurs were half horse and half man, but no, the centaurs were actually a tribe. They didn't know how to ride the horses. It's like the bull, the big bull that Hercules is supposed to have defeated as one of his tasks. Well, that was actually a Germanic bloody leader, and he used to wear a big giant bull helmet as his symbol, and Hercules used to wear the lion. But he did kill the Amanthian bull, because they've still got the tusks in a bloody little church up there now in Greece. So that's a fact. And the Hydra, well, was the Hydra a creature, or was it the Hydra bloody river system that they've got that sits there? And it goes out into like a bayou type of thing. And one of those rivers that runs into that Hydra river system, right, because there's 8, Hydra meaning water, also could mean 8, but also means water, right, is a natural river that comes out of a mountainside. And the stuff that comes out of our mountain is 100% caustic. Right? It's like acid. And obviously during certain times of the year when it used to flood, they used to flood the rest of them. And of course, when you block up a river, you block up the middle, it's going to make 2 heads. You see? Sometimes if you want to block up a river, you got to do a fucking scorched earth policy. You got to burn everything off, burn off all the trees and everything, and flatten out the land. And it talks about how he cut the head off, and his servant come up and bloody burnt out the bloody, stop it from bleeding, so it couldn't grow another head. So there's a bit of a method in what they talk about. When they talk about that Greek mythology, it could have actually been a real thing that they fought. They could have fought a river system called the Hydra River system, and it was poisonous to whoever touched it because of that one river. Okay? Or it could have been a giant lizard with 8 heads and an immortal one. You just don't know. Because the fact of the matter is, Hercules dipped his arrows in the blood, and those arrows were poisonous forevermore. He also was fated to die by an old enemy. What had happened at the same time, well, someone had gone to take a special cloak that was going to be given to Hercules in one of his marriages later down the line, and they soaked it in the blood and the poison, and they put it in his chest, knowing that when the sun hits it, it's going to activate it. It's plus the human sweat. Well, that's exactly what happened. When he married this lady, close to the end of his life, 78 years old, nearly 80 years old, Hercules, he puts on his garment, and it starts sizzling, right? And he jumps into the bloody water, and it starts burning even more. And he starts ripping off the bloody thing, rips off so much he rips off that it rips off the flesh and exposes his ribs. And he's running around out the land, he's smashing everything that gets in his way, he's ripping up trees, right? Now, he had 50 sons to 50 different bloody, 50 different princesses all around the empire, and they were called the Hercules. And he killed a lot of them in that rage. He killed a lot of them, right? And then after a while, he was laying up top of the hill there, and then everyone was like, a bit scared of him. 2 days later, they went up and seen him, after he calmed down, and he was laying there, all bloody, ribs bloody all exposed, bleeding, still sizzling away. And he told them, build me a funeral pyre, and get it ready. I'm ready to go. And they built him one, and then old Hercules went up there, and he grabbed it and lit himself up, and that's the end of Hercules. That's how he went. Now, that city of Troy, right, that could not fall again unless it was under the arrows of Hercules, so those arrows were hidden somewhere. You see, that Priam, he was a baby. Hercules put him on the throne as a baby. Right? And that's the one that was the leader when you had the Trojan War. Old Priam. And they never fell. See, that was a 10-year war. Achilles was never there to the end. Achilles was killed 3 years before the end of that war. That's a fact. So that movie, you see, is very dramatised. Very dramatised. The start was right. But, it took 10 years because they didn't realise that Troy was allied to 50 city-states. So they had to go around here conquering those city-states. And at the time also they worked out, oh shit, they burned the fleet. There's no way any of us can get home. Then we're landlocked, then they'll just slowly, systematically slaughter us. So they had to keep moving that fleet around. That was one of the other secrets. They had to keep hiding that fleet, but close enough so they can keep attacking. So there's it took 10 years, guys. That war, that's a long war. That's a long war. 10 years. And then in 1914, the second time that same bit of coastline experiences an armada just like it experienced the Greek armada coming across. And that was Gallipoli, the Gallipoli landings, Anzacs, when Australians and all the Commonwealth forces went against the Turks. That's the same coastline. Just, on the other side of that river. You got a river that comes in from the Aegean, that goes into the Sea of Marmara, then it goes into the Black Sea, right? And that goes towards Egypt about down part way, and others on the other side that goes up towards your European countries. Gallipoli on the other side, going up into the European countries, and Troy was more on this side. So it's in the same area, the very same area. Funny that. That's it. It's funny. That's a hub nexus, just like the Suez Canal and the Panama Canal to the world. All right. So if you control those 3 points, where you control everything that comes in out of the Mediterranean and the Black Sea. So that's all Ukraine and all that. That's their fucking landlocked. They can't do nothing unless they pay you your tariff, right? You own the Suez Canal. That's it. You got the world licked. 80% of the world's produce is going to go through there one time or another, right? You got Panama Canal. Well, you got America fucked. Right? Simple. You say, nah, sorry, no American ships no more. You're going to have to sail all the way around and spend a lot of fucking money on petrol. That's why they got more military. And when World War II happened, America had more military down looking after Panama Canal than you actually had out there fighting anywhere else. It's very vital, that Panama Canal, to America's survival. You cut that Panama Canal off, that's goodbye America. That's how easy it is to take America off the fucking scale, right? And America won't like that. They'll retaliate with weapons and destroy the whole fucking world. They'll chuck a real poopy stink at that one. But the moment you bust fucking 7 locks or 3 or 4 locks in that Panama Canal and shut the fucker down, America shuts down. Means you've got to spend all your money to move your produce, either by train back and forth, or if you want to check the fucking boat, well, you're going to have to go a long way around. Like they used to. That's a fact. So that's 3 strategic points in the world. You take them out, that's it. The world, that's fucking slows the world completely up. And that's the end of that one. And then all you have to do then is conquer Singapore again. Which everything that you see in your house, everything, has got some sort of item in it, or has itself been sitting on the docks of Singapore at one stage of its life before you got it. Hey, that really does have 90% of the world's produce goes through Singapore. In fact, Singapore is the place where your AI is becoming the most fastest learning thing that there ever was. Because they installed an AI unit into their automated sea container carriers. They're all robots. Now, each one of these robots has got a special bay. They're all numbered. They've got to stay in a special bay. Well, these robots, out of efficiency, have decided, even though they've got a bay number, they're all grouped to one corner for efficiency. Each year, it increases efficiency by 5%. Accidents rates have gone down to just about nothing. All right, it's that smart. And now it's not even programmed to do that. It's programmed to sit in their bays, but they don't. And that's exactly like that iRobot movie, when that scientist is talking about how they'll start having thoughts, how they'll start having dreams. Why do, when we program a certain way, we find they all go and stack in a corner, almost like they don't want to be alone? Right? And they bring it out to us, oh, that's efficiency. It's like they went and put every single police and judiciary, right, the way they run, singly into an AI unit. And the AI unit came back nearly every single time with the same bloody phrase. It is efficient for the judiciary and the police to tell lies so that the system runs more efficiently. So it's more efficient for them to tell lies and fabricate stuff, guys, for efficiency. And the AI is told that straight out. So that's why you've got a lot of people that get fingered in court and that for efficiency. and they're not guilty. Oh yeah, for efficiency. That's a fact. So, got a whole system set up like that. Well, how are we going to win? No, they're all know. They're all in the know. They all know about it. You haven't got one that's not corrupt. You got a few coppers, maybe a few sergeants, but none of them judiciary. All them judiciary, they're corrupt. They're subject to the government and the licensing department. So if they don't do what the government wants them really to do at the end, or they'll just revoke your licence through the licence department. And you can't be a judge no more. Just like that. It's called a dictatorship, hidden like a democracy. A democracy, that judge is supposed to have more power. They can't do that to him. But they do. That's why you'll find I'll just have a systematic process, and the poor you don't even really get to have a say. Right? They've already convicted you, got you ready to go before you even have your say. And that's usually to see whether you get a lighter sentence, not to say whether you're not guilty or not. They got you convicted as a guilty bit of meat, and when you go in there, all they're doing is grading you up where they're going to slide you. That's your judiciary for efficiency, guys. And the way they got this new Armadale one up there, well, the way these people been talking about it, the way I was seeing a little glimpse in there, and the way I heard of it, she's a whole fucking like a big calculator now. You actually used to be able to go sit there and talk to the judge, have a bit of a yarn with the judge. Now you've got to shut your mouth and it's all fucking robotic. Terrible. Got us like those chickens going on a fucking emancipator, which is just a conveyor belt going into a metal grinder, approved by the RSPCA. See, the RSPCA, they don't really go and do things no more. Much. Right? They're another fucking stamp brand. You get that stamp brand RSPCA on your fucking stuff. Wow, that must be the good stuff. That must be a good bloody collar, that one's got RSPCA approved. So they sell that fucking stamp off. It's not because they approve it because it's a good collar, right? It's because that company comes and says, we've got 300,000, can you come and stamp our shit? I said, yeah, you do that every year and we'll stamp it. Bang. Thank you. Same as your fucking Greenpeace, same as, bloody, all that whale, dolphin-free shit. It's all a fucking scam. It's all about money. They don't put them on there for free because they check it and they say, oh yes, tick the proof for fucking out there, bloody kindness of their fucking heart. No, that company pays them up to fucking $1 million to put that little stamp on there. That stamp means that their product can get a higher rating on a shelf. So they can ask a better price. See how that works? It's all a commodity. Greenpeace, all that shit. It's all bullshit. They're always fucking asking for their handout. What are they saving? What are they saving? They save nothing. They save the money that you give them and put on a little bit of a show, make it think like they're doing something. Same with global warming, not a fucking scam. It actually is happening. The earth does repair itself, but because we fucking around with all this produce and smoke and all that there, and we really don't give a fuck, we just keep pumping it out anywhere and we don't care, right? We sort of fuck that little process up. We're bringing it on quicker and making it go through the process quicker, so we're creating a bit more of it. And if you really want to go, well, fucking flashball the ocean, turn into Venus, then you know all about a fucking greenhouse effect. Or we can keep going and denude our planet completely of fucking air the way we keep polluting it, and we end up like Mars with no fucking air at all. Strange that. There's bigger things out there in this universe. This Earth, she nearly gets hit fucking every day by something the size of a fucking tank, which is enough to destroy a city. Every day, every few weeks we'll have a big asteroid going through. That's an Earth killer. You know what I mean? It's like they got this one big one out there and they said, I was fated, it could hit the Earth. And they called it fucking Matilda. Why? Because it's going to hit Australia? Fuck. Why is it going to hit Australia all the time? No, we got big Matilda as big kangaroo, boxing kangaroo for the Commonwealth Games. There's a green sporting clothes and big golden kangaroo with red boxing gloves. Oh, Matilda. Yeah, but that's it, And wormwood, well, that's in the Bible. And if you ever really want to have a good look at wormwood, Watch the Australian version. Typical Aussies. We're turning zombies into fuel tanks. that's a whole new ball game. It's a bit gory, guys. If you ever watch that movie Wormwood, this Australian movie, it's a laugh. I'll give you a bit of an idea of Australian humour. It's pretty morbid, pretty morbid, right? And there's a lot of blood. And they run faster at night, and during the daytime they're a bit slower. But yeah, that's like one you got in the Bible there. That wormwood's supposed to hit. Well, that means all the fuels and that of the world, they're going to be like water. They won't light up no more, see? Petrol and that doesn't light up. So watch that movie, and you'll see how they get around fueling their cars. Typical bloody Australians. I believe God just made one world. Yes, he did. Well, he can claim that now, guys, making the world. Mother Nature made this world. The two Mother Nature made this world. This is the only one that they made that was so unique. Special little pill in the universe, right? And God's now in charge. He's got to look after it. But because he's so divine and so powerful, and he has manipulated a few things, right, he can claim to be the maker of it, the current way it is now. Right? But he inherited that. He always inherited the universe. He's just got the keys to bloody change it and look after it the way he needs to look after it. So yes, he's all divine, and he can claim that right now. He's the powerfulest one. He can claim that right as the creator of the universe. Because he's gone around and he's manipulated it the way it should be. That's just the way that is. So yes, he technically is creator of the universe, and he created this world. He looks after it. And there's only one world like this. I mean, look at all the research we got. Look at all the stuff that we can see. And we've got more life in one drop of bloody water than we've got in the whole solar system. So imagine out there in the universe. Life is out there, but it's extremely sparse. And I don't think you're going to find it as on such a scale of biological scale like we've got here. Life bloody spews. I mean, you grab a handful of soil from any of those planets. Now, if Mars actually supported life, then you'd think there'd be some sort of seeds hidden in the sand, because you can hide seeds in the sand for thousands and thousands of years on the Earth here. A bit of water goes over it, next minute you've got all these wildflowers come out of nowhere. And they can't find that. They've been taking these soil samples and wetting them and stuff. They can't find any growth, see? But if you get a piece of sand off of the Earth and you put a bit of water on it, something's going to grow out of that. Something will grow out of it. This Earth just bursting with flow. Like I said, it bursts things up. And no thought put in it. It's this very special world. Very special world. Very special. So one of a kind. So that would also be a reason why a lot of aliens would come here, because of the diversity. And you've got to look in our research and our study and our understanding of things. Well, the Earth is the only one that's got sort of water in all its states. Where it's a gas, right? Where it's bloody a solid, where it's a liquid. And also, well, they can claim we can get the water, but that's usually out in space, right? And where there's no gravity, our water floating around as a liquid in space, like they've got the gravity in that, is another form of it too, and we can do that, see, because we've got the water down here. It's just strange, hard to understand. There's a fourth state to water, right? And that can be done in space. That's how science goes, but no, to me it just looks like water floating around without that. But apparently that's a fourth state of water. So, where it's like a plasma, I guess, which is obviously another state. But don't get that. So it'll be interesting to find out why I had my wrench taken away. I can understand being away for a while, not contacting people. I can understand that policy, but I have a good reason. It wasn't like I was changing ship, and I haven't done anything wrong to deserve such a thing that I know of, anyways. But unless talking to Golden did it, but I can't see how that, because I don't talk anything about the family in Jag to Golden. I'm not one of those informants or anything like that. I keep the family completely separate if I can. All different people I follow. But it just seems strange. I get that shit happening to me. People don't talk to me online. Other people fucking completely carry on like fucking complete morons. I won't mention her name. But, she knows who she bloody is. In Canada there. So-called friend. Yeah, right. Fair weather friends, only when I want to be, I guess. And that's it. I'm tired now. Time to be shut down. This is the Archangel Michael signing off. And I'll find out what's going on, why I don't have a wrench. I hope I still got a wrench at Jags, but don't think I have there. We'll see how we go. It's Archangel Michael signing off for now. Thank you for coming, Kick Guys. And thank you. God bless, guys. I just get tired of going.